Guys, today we're making chocolate wine weed cupcakes. You'll need a nice fruity red wine to enhance the flavor of the chocolate. You don't want something dry and disgusting. You also don't want something white for obvious reasons. It's 2023. So this recipe, we're gonna need 4 bowls. We need 1 bowl for the dry, we need 1 bowl for the eggs, 1 bowl for the wet, and 1 bowl for me to smoke. So we're gonna start with 1.5 cups of flour. We're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. The baking powder is to help it rise. The baking soda, 1/2 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. What we're gonna do is, nice and easy, whisk these together and then set it aside. Your flour is gonna be lumpy, even if it's pre-sifted. What you wanna do is just have one nice even color. Don't mix it too much. It's gonna make a world of difference when you're combining ingredients, just having this all mixed together. I'm gonna set that aside. In a separate bowl, we're gonna cream together 1/2 cup of sugar and 2 eggs. Now, over mixing anything you put your eggs into can cause a world of problems. You mix this long enough, it could turn into like a Cool Whip or a marshmallow. Let's be nice and light and fluffy, nothing too crazy. 2 or 3 minutes of mixing. Now it's time for bowl number 3, or 4, if you're smoking at home with me. So in this bowl, we're gonna add 1/2 cup of whole milk. You need none of the skim shit. Like I said once, I've said it 1,000 times, calories don't count when there's weed in it. 1/2 cup of coffee, a nice strong brew of coffee. If you are wondering, yes, I have been on Saturday Night Live in the audience. And here is our beautiful weed oil. And if you're making it according to the way that we make it there at home, you're gonna have about 400 milligrams in this batch of cupcakes. So whether you're making 12 big cupcakes or 24 smaller cupcakes, just divide that by 400 and you'll get your dose. Lastly, we're gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Remember, your extract shouldn't be like your personality. We don't want it to be imitation. Nice light whisk till it's well combined. Now we are gonna add all of our bowls together. So we wanna go wet and dry, dry and wet. You wanna start with the dry and you wanna end with the dry. So we're gonna put about 1/2 of our dry mixture in, all of our wet mixture in, and then the last 1/2 of our dry mixture. It's really important not to overmix this. Once again, we want a nice, light, fluffy cupcake. Half of it. Give this a little mix. Apparently there's a magic to Hollywood, but I always look this fat on camera, so not as fucking magic. You can tell when it starts to overmix, adding a lot of that air into the mixture itself will get it to start to like fluff up. You'll see a lot of bubbles and you've gone way too far and there's no fixing it. Use your eyes. You'll see clumps from the flour and the dry mixture. Once you don't see those clumps anymore, that's when you want to stop. Delicious. Now we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. We're going to spray cupcake tin. We're going to get these in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes until a toothpick comes out of the center clean. And while they're in there, we're going to make our wine buttercream. So we got our pan nice and greased. What we're going to do is take some pink salt.
I can't tell if you're greasier or the pan.
We're going to sprinkle some pink salt, just a tiny, tiny bit. You don't want them to be like a mouthful of ocean water. And now these are gonna get pretty fluffy and rise, so we're only gonna fill them up halfway. Ooh, JK, that was not halfway. House is smelling like chocolate. Cupcakes are cooling out of the oven. We made 18, 22 milligram cupcakes. Now we're gonna make the wine buttercream. 22.2 milligrams per cupcake. Now, what we're gonna do is put a full cup of butter and 8 ounces of cream cheese. Make sure it's softened Leave them out on the counter overnight. And we're gonna mix them until they're light and fluffy. Add our powdered sugar, 1 cup at a time. And we're gonna put our wine and our extract. We're gonna have, looks good. Most people would stop here. Scrape the sides and just give it a little bit more of a beating. So now we're gonna add our powdered sugar. One cup at a time. Again, you don't want to overmix. Powdered sugar is going to make a mess. There's really no way around it. You have 4 cups in here. After you do it twice, you want to scrape the edges, the sides of your bowl. There's no sides to a bowl, the edges of your bowl. Just scrape the bowl.
Are you doing geometry again?
Scrape the sides, edges of your bowl.
I would have got that like halfway through.
It's fine. You can see it like it's like rolling around almost like a dough together because it's a little too dry. We haven't had put any wet in there yet. Oh, perfect. Just until it's combined, you don't want to overmix. Now we're going to scrape the edges here, give it a little bit more of a mix. Oh, this is going to slide off the spatula, but keep its hold a little bit. Now, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/4 cup of a nice fruity red wine of your choosing. A little bit at a time here. Give that nice color that I want. Once it looks like it's combined, it's not. Scrape the edges. One last time. Make sure you hit the bottom. This is what the final product should look like. Oh, look at that peak. If you want peaks and valleys, you can mix this a little bit more. If it's too wet, add some more powdered sugar. If it's too dry, add a little bit more wet. So we're gonna mix this just for a little bit longer, and we're gonna get it in a piping bag, and we are going to decorate our delicious creations. I know you're hungry. I know it smells really good. I know there's wine and weed in here, but we're almost done. What we're gonna do next is dress these bad boys up. We're gonna cut the top off to make an even surface so we can pipe on there. Put a strawberry, and we're not gonna waste our beautiful, delicious weed. We're gonna crumble it on top when we're done. And we've done it. Such a delightfully decadent weed cupcake and such a wonderfully light and fruity wine buttercream. Put little strawberries on top. Now it's time to taste it, but old pal Dom can't have berries. I got one right here, sans berries. Holy fuck. Oh my God. I don't drink wine. It's fucking amazing. I don't need wine to have fun. I'm high on life and weed. Ketamine sometimes, psilocybin. Cupcake is so spongy. Oh, the buttercream has infiltrated. It's so good. It's like a delicious chocolate pillow. A nice fruity, frothy, whipped cream. It's not even like a buttercream. It's so light and tart, and it cuts the dark chocolate. Get this fucking camera out of my face. More 22 milligrams of cupcake. My wife's gonna try a cupcake. Now remember, these are about 22 milligrams. We've cut the top off of them, so they're right around 20 milligrams. They're delicious, they're decadent, they're delightful. You won't wanna share these with anybody. Just take your shirt off, play with your nipples, eat these cupcakes, get high, take a nap. See you later.